With us today is Singh. Kamal is the founder and CEO of MS One Step.
So let's talk about some of the common mistakes that brands make when they're transitioning from retail stores to online stores, selling on Amazon or any other, any other marketplace. So when you're first step of transitioning, if you make some mistakes there, that can cost you big time and hurt your business in the long run.
Financial top 4 mistakes.
That is right. Yeah.
You have gathered all the very basic and simple mistakes. Hi everybody, again Thursday, again WAPI webinars. Alexander Fridman, WAPI company with you today. And together with us, as always, wonderful guest. With us today is Singh. Kamal is the founder and CEO of MS One Step, right? You've got also the logo. Kamal started his Amazon journey in 2015 with retail arbitrage and ended up selling his private label brand in 2018 and probably earned a lot of money on it, right?
Yeah, a little bit. You can say that, little bit of money, yeah.
Okay. And so used this money to open his own agency. He also organizes Amazon sellers meetups across Canada. Hi, Kamal. And how do you feel yourself?
No, doing pretty good. I am out here in Edmonton. It's minus 20 degrees Celsius outside. So I feel a little bit cold and feeling good. How about you guys?
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's better to work when it's cold outside. You don't want to rest. You want to rush and do some job and earn money to fly somewhere else.
Exactly. That's a good part of it.
Okay, so did I say everything right? Please tell us about a little bit about your experience, about your journey. How did you get to online business, to e-com business?
Yeah, no, I think you pretty much said it. So, I started with the retail arbitrage. What I was doing in 2015, I was flipping stuff, buying it locally from Walmart, Target at that time, buying some stuff from the garage sales, and I was just flipping it to Amazon. And my day one, I was selling a textbook, and it sold, and I'm like, wow, this thing really works. Day one, I sold a textbook, and I made some good profit out of it. So I really believed in the system at that time. Okay, this is what I'm going to do moving forward. So I started flipping more and more stuff, but actually I had to go outside every single day to do the shopping and to flip it on Amazon. But so, that's where I'm like, okay, if I want to scale it, this is not something, I'll be doing for longer period of time. Then I started.
You were buying goods at the local shops?
Yeah, local stores like, Walmart, even the garage sale, the Target. Yeah, that's where I was buying this stuff from. Yeah.
And just selling it more expensive on Amazon?
Yeah, actually, some stuff, yes, we were selling like a little bit higher than the retail price, and some stuff was already at clearance and cheaper price. So you can see, from different tools that okay, this product is already selling at this price, and this product is winning the buy box at this price. So I should be able to sell it, right? So some products, I was like making the markup and making the price higher, and some products were already on sale or already on clear as items, so we were just flipping those items. Yeah.
Okay, cool. It's so simple just to buy something in retail store and put it on online, yeah. But the first thing that comes into your mind, you think why nobody will buy it, because everybody can go to retail store. What for it?
Exactly right. That's what you first think about it. Okay, why are people buy it expensive when you can buy it cheaply at a local store? But yeah, that's a wrong perception. People are buying. There are, let's say I'm in Canada, and those big stores are not available in every city or every smaller town. So those people, but the Amazon is able to ship the product in a day or two to those smaller towns where they can't go to bigger stores. So people are buying it, more, even expensive stuff there. So yeah, it totally makes sense. And the good thing about it is, when you're doing the flipping of your products, is that actually you get to learn a lot. because you learn about labeling your products, you learn about creating shipments, you learn about the bestseller rank. So I think it's a great way to start. If someone is starting new, someone doesn't have a lot of budget, I think yeah, it is a great way to start. Just doing retail arbitrage or online arbitrage.
Cool. Just find a great store in a big city and buy their stuff and put it online and sell it to the small cities.
Yeah, you can
That
say
sounds
that.
like a strategy.
That is true. Yeah.
Okay, so what was after that?
Okay, so after once I was doing that, I'm like, okay, you know what, I think it's time for me to start my own brand, do private label, so that I don't have to go to the stores every day. So that's where I started with phone accessories, and obviously that failed big time. And it was super competitive. It was super competitive. It was electronics, and it sold really well, but my account got suspended because of the order defect rate. On Amazon, your order defect rate is 1%, and electronics, I sold I think 70 units in 1 week, and two people complained already. I'm like, oh shoot. Then I got my account back, but I'm like, okay, no, this thing works. It was just my mistake. I shouldn't have gone to electronics product. I should have found something else. And then I started watching some YouTube videos, and that's where I found online software where you can do the product research. That's when I was thinking, okay, why did I choose to go without the software when there's so much data in front of me? So I did some research, found a really good product. I verified it on Pinterest, and everyone was talking about it, but it was not selling on Amazon yet. I'm like, okay, you know what, I'm going to source this product, sell it on Amazon. And yeah, so that's what I did. By the time I was selling, by the time my product was in production, there were like 3 4 competitors already. I'm like, oh, the competitors are coming in so fast. But anyhow, my listing was great. I was doing PPC and everything. Got some reviews, and yeah, that product did well. And I launched a couple of other products similar to that,
Mhm.
and that eventually became a brand in 2018. Someone from my local community, she offered me a good price. I'm like, okay, you know what, now it's time for me to focus on my agency, which I'm doing right now. And yeah, so but I still help Amazon sellers with the private label brands and stuff like that. So yeah, that's kind of the experience I've been so far with Amazon.
Cool, cool. So are you helping right now? Your agency helps with Amazon sales or not only Amazon?
It's mainly Amazon. So our agency mainly helps the Amazon sellers. But there's some brands who need help with their say, Facebook marketing or
Mhm.
Amazon marketing or the Google advertising. So we do help them with that as well. So, but it's mainly 95%, I would say, it's Amazon specific.
Okay, wonderful. So, as I understand, you have prepared a great presentation for us today, and the name of it is Common Mistakes That Brands Make When Transitioning from Retail to Online.
That
Uh,
is
that is true?
Yeah, that is correct. And yeah, it's a small presentation. Feel free to ask any interrupt me anytime. So that is totally fine.
Okay, okay, of course. So I think we can start with it. Please
Okay.
share your screen.
Okay, so let's share my screen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can you guys see my screen now?
Yes, we can see it, but I think you should press there, like, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Oh, I think it is not.
how about now?
Oh, no, now it's better.
Okay, let me just. Now it's
Yeah,
better, right?
like this, yeah.
Perfect. So yeah, so let's talk about some of the common mistakes that brands make when they're transitioning from retail stores to online stores. So last year around the same time of the year, many businesses, they had no choice but to go online. And when governments, they announced lockdown and the retail stores were shut down for a long period of time, some businesses, they adapted the change very quickly, and some businesses, they were struggling, and they're still struggling to get online. So the goal from this presentation is, if you could pinpoint some of the things that we have seen from our experience. If you don't do that, you'll do well, when you're transitioning from retail to online. And by online, I mean it could be Amazon, it could be Walmart, it could be eBay, Etsy, Shopify, or any platform that is available out there. So I did. So a little bit about myself. I have given a little bit of introduction myself. I'm the CEO and founder of AMZ One Step, where we help Amazon sellers with product photography, listing optimization, and PPC management and some other stuff. So this is what we do, and I'm also the founder of AMZ Meetup. AMZ Meetup is a meetup organization that brings the Amazon sellers community together in Canada. So we organize meetups in different parts of Canada. So we have one meetup group in Edmonton. There's one in Calgary, Vancouver, Toronto, and Montreal, and there's one in Chicago, USA, which we do once a year. So these are some of the pictures from last year, from one of our meetups. And I really hope that we get back to normal and we start meeting new Amazon sellers again and start networking. So these are some of the photos. And there's one conference that I organized last year, which was sold out in 2 weeks. We had like a couple of hundred Amazon sellers join. So, and why should we sell on Amazon or any online marketplace? Because if you look at this graph, the global market share of e-commerce is going up every single year, and it has not even reached the first quarter uh, yet. It's still in the projections are by 2023 we will be at 23% the total e-commerce global share, and it's just the beginning of e-commerce era, and it will be going up every single year. So if you're thinking that it's too competitive or you're too late, it's not really true. E-commerce is a giant, and it's just the inception of that. So right now is a good time to go online if you're still at brick and mortar store. Okay, so it's a little bit competitive than the previous years, but yeah, you got to do what you have to do, right? So let's take a Bitcoin, for example. People were not buying it when it was $2,000, and they're like, oh, it's too expensive, and now it's sitting at like $50,000 or something. So it's the exact same thing. So get on Amazon, Walmart, or get on the Shopify, get online now. Otherwise, you're gonna miss the boat, and it will be far more competitive down the roads. And why? What are some of the top benefits of?
You also think that it is just the beginning, right?
I truly believe that it's just a beginning of that. There's still, if you look at the market share, it's only uh, 21% of the global market share of the retail shopping. So I
Mhm.
expect that it will be, if not, at least it will be 50 or 55% in the coming years, and which is huge, which means it's going to be more than double what it is right now. And the COVID has shifted the momentum towards online, right? So
Mhm.
I truly believe that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and some of the top benefits of going online is that you can sell in any country. You sell beyond the boundaries. Just by going online, you're no more limited to one city, or you're no more limited to one district or one country. You can sell worldwide. So that is one of the best part of selling online. And you're not open 9 to 5 anymore. Now your business hours are 24/7. So you can, the best part of about the e-commerce, the business owners I know, they wake up, they're selling in different countries. They wake up, the first thing they do is they check their sales. Okay, how much I have sold when I was sleeping. So that's the best part about the online, that you're no more limited in hours. And the other cool stuff thing is that you can do the remarketing on the people who have visited your store, and that has a huge potential. You know what people were interested in your website, in your product, and now you can retarget them. And it's super difficult to do this when it's a retail shop, right? So if someone visits your retail shop, someone visits your brick and mortar, how would you find them to get him back? It's super difficult. But in online, with the analytics, you can actually go back to them and show your ads and get them re-engaged. So these are some of the top benefits, but there are like a lot others. But so this is what opens multiple channels for your sales. So these are some of the reasons that why you should be going online. And now let's talk about some of the mistakes that normally brands make when they're transitioning.
I'm listening and smiling because you're saying right. There is no more country boundaries now, but now it is fulfillment boundaries. So like all the countries are available for you. There is just a small task: find the fulfillment and courier service who will deliver the goods in 24 48 hours for you.
That's where WAPI comes in, right?
Yeah, that's
That's
right.
where WAPI comes in. So there is a solution to everything. So
Okay, let's continue. So when the people agrees and say, Kamal, yes, that's a great idea to go online,
okay,
but I'm afraid that I'll do some mistakes.
yeah.
Can you tell us what mistakes to avoid?
So the first thing I would tell them that your initial mistakes can be very costly. So that's what I would the first thing would tell them. So when you're selling on Amazon or any other, any other marketplace. So when you're first step of transitioning, if you make some mistakes there, that can cost you big time and hurt your business in the long run. And as we saw in the last slide, that the e-commerce market share keeps on going up. And if you're thinking about building an empire, e-commerce empire, then try to make sure that the foundation of your Amazon business is very, very strong. So let me give you an example, Alex. I had a friend of mine, in Edmonton meetup group. What he was doing, he launched an Amazon product. It was doing really good on Amazon. It was selling hundreds of units every single month, and he did everything right. Everything he did the product research, sourced it well, negotiated well with Amazon. But all of a sudden, after 3 months, he get a notification that his account is suspended. And I'm like, okay, what happened? So he showed me the email, and the problem was the review manipulation. So he actually purchased some reviews during the initial phases of the business, which
Mhm,
hurt him when his product was very successful. Right. So
mhm,
now his product is account is suspended. He's trying to get his account back. He eventually got the account back, but he totally lost the momentum. And by that time, there was such a big competition. So this is just a one example of initial mistakes. So
mhm.
it's when you're creating your account, when you're sending your inventory, make sure everything is good. There's no black hat method or gray hat method that you're trying, because that can hurt you in the long run. And a lot of the new businesses, when they're transitioning, they don't really think about it. So initial mistakes can be very, very expensive. So
So you mean that Amazon in some time, like in a year or in a half a year, can look back and analyze what you were doing at the beginning, and if they find something there, they can suspend your account.
not like if it's a matter of few months, as soon as they find that you have something, that you have done something which is not against Amazon terms of service, they can
Mhm.
suspend account. If it's been like a year or 2 years, chances are not. But that thing happened in a couple of months, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
as
Nice.
soon as Amazon finds that out, your account can be in the jeopardy.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So and that kind of brings me to the mistake number one. And the mistake number one is not following the portal's terms or guidelines. And what do I mean by that is, for example, when you're selling on any third party marketplace like Walmart, Amazon, you have to be very careful.
Mhm.
Make sure you read their terms or terms of service of that portal. Going taking back Going back to my example that I was giving you, when my account got suspended is
Mhm.
because my order defect rate was more than 1%, and I was not even aware of that there is anything which is called order defect rate. I got to know when my account was suspended, and I was not looking at my account health. And I'm like, okay, this is something
Mhm.
I should have read before doing this. So there's a lot of things which you don't know, or there's a lot of things which are doing outside their terms of service or their guidelines, which
Mhm.
can be a mistake, which can potentially cost you a lot. So some of the take some for an example, if we talk about Amazon, some what are some of the guidelines? Maybe if you're a brand which is going from retail to online, just first thing, make sure you're eligible to sell those products before you invest so much in the inventory. Make sure that the category is not restricted, or the ASIN that you're going to resell is not restricted. And checking your account health every time. There's no late shipments, there's no ODR, there's you have responded to all the buyer seller messages, and and hazmat policies. There's so many brands which has chemical lithium ion batteries in their products, and which can potentially fall under Amazon hazmat, and Amazon cannot really store in their warehouses. So they need to find they need to find some third party logistics which can ship and deliver their products on their behalf, right? So these are some of the things that uh, can be potentially against Amazon terms of service, or you need to take care of that beforehand. So why I'm saying this, uh, after the COVID happened, we had so many companies reach out to us. Hey, we manufacture face masks. Some companies were, hey,
Mhm.
we manufacture hand sanitizers and we want to sell on Amazon. And the biggest roadblock for them was that they are not approved to sell on in those categories. So what they do, they spend so much money.
They are not approved by Amazon, or they are not approved by local government institutes.
It could be both. It could be both. Some of them were approved. They had, let's say I'm in Canada, so they had all the certifications from Health
Mhm,
Canada, but they would
mhm,
still have to show that to Amazon that they what they're selling is actually legit. So Amazon's
mhm.
COVID-19 policies, they were really strict, and so they were asking for all the documents. So it could be either one, or it could be both. So some of the products you need like the FD approval, or you need MSTS sheets so that you can show it to Amazon. Then Amazon takes some time to review that, and then you go from there. So it's either or both.
Okay.
Okay. So
So
yeah, the
Amazon checks by themselves all the certification and all the documents. So everything what is sold on Amazon is legal.
exactly, for some categories, for the restricted categories for COVID-19 products, but some categories, they are not restricted, so Amazon doesn't really care about that. So you
Mhm.
can sell pretty much anything as long as you're not infringing on any trademark or patent. You should be fine.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Let's
Perfect.
go further.
Okay, so the next one would be uh, trying to do it all by yourself. Okay, so we need to understand, as a brand, when we're transitioning, e-commerce is not a DIY thing. Can say, okay, do it yourself. So there's so many
Mhm,
skills involved in that. There's a copywriting, there's a photography. Think about copywriting. It's a profession in itself. Photography is a profession in itself. And if you're trying to
mhm,
do it on your own, and if you think that you write a copy and you do the photography, it will sell, because people can't see your product online. They can't feel it. They cannot touch it. So you have to sell it through either a copy or a great photography. So if you try to do it yourself, you may be good at it, but if you want to compete at the top level, it's going to be a little
mhm,
bit challenging. It's going to be, you're going to have to figure out, you're going to have to get the right people to do that job. And account management, it's 24/7 thing. There's a buyer seller messages. There's so many. Let's say you got negative review, negative feedback, somebody needs to respond to that, somebody needs to take care of the stock, what's getting out of stock. So if you have multiple SKUs, you need account management, you need to do the PPC. There's a sourcing which is involved, there's the logistics, there's customer service, inventory. So there's so many
mhm,
things which are involved. But if you try to wear all the hats, you will be overwhelmed soon. So delegate some stuff which can be outsourced. Use the software, use the companies, use the third party partners who can help you uh, grow your business, right? So these are a lot of the brands, they try to do everything themselves, and which potentially slows down their uh, progress on
Mm-hmm.
online, right?
Okay.
And the next one would be not going omni-channel. There's It's not just Amazon. There's like bunch of other marketplaces as well that you can sell on. Uh, you can do Shopify, you can do Amazon, you can do eBay, Etsy, or Walmart, and it's also a good test point too. Sometimes the products are really successful on Walmart, but they're not on Amazon. I went to a conference last year around February at Expo, and what I found, people were telling me that, hey, my product is doing so good, my products are selling great on Walmart, but they are not selling well on Amazon. So this could be a great test for you, that which portal would be is more profitable for you, and where you can invest more, where you need to work more, so that your all your sales channels are open. And this also uh, kind of tells us that we shouldn't be putting all eggs in one basket. If one portal is giving you problem, something gets suspended because you don't own these marketplaces. You are just a third party vendor on these ones. So you don't own that. So the only thing you own is your website, right? Other than that, you have to be it's kind of risky. So don't put eggs in one basket. Try to go omni-channel. This just opens more sales options for you and more customers, and know what's more profitable and go with that. So this is also one of the mistakes that people do. Not just the marketplaces, you can also do by omni-channel. I mean, you can do Facebook ads, you can do Google ads, you can do Bing ads, you can do videos, there's so many things that you need to do. As soon as you're online, the options are, the sky is the limit. Everything you do online, whether it's a social media, whether you make a video, you do a podcast, everything will potentially help your brand to grow. So this is what I mean by omni-channel, not just the marketplaces, also doing everything else. So this is how you will test what's working for you and what's not. There's no one way of doing it. There's no like right way of doing it. There's no wrong way of doing it. As long as you know what works, double down on that.
Okay.
And the next one, Alex, would be miscalculating the margins. This happens a lot. This happens with a lot of Amazon sellers, and other marketplaces as well. When they're starting on Amazon, they ignore a lot of the time they ignore the FBA fees. Let's take a look at this slide for examples. These are just the four examples, but there are like a lot of them which are hidden fees that can kill your margin. First one is portal fees. The new brands, they ask, hey, my lending cost is $5, can I sell it for $10? I'm like, no, you'll not make any profit, because Amazon would take $6 or $7 fees. You would be actually losing money. But the
Mhm.
brands are like, no, my price is double, I'm manufacturing for $5, I'm selling it for 10. But that's not how it works. You need to include Amazon's margins in there, like how much it's actually, the how much the
30.
FB piece is,
They
right?
said that it's about 30%, no?
Yeah, it anywhere from 15 to 30%, and plus also shipping and handling. Also depends on your size and weight of the product. So so a lot of the people, they lose money because they have miscalculated their margins, right? And when
Mhm.
you're doing your PPC, that also gets added to your margins. And the other thing is, if you're selling internationally, let's say I'm in Canada, if I'm selling in USA, the USD would convert to Canadian dollars, and Amazon or any of that marketplace wouldn't give me the best conversion rate, so I lose money there as well. And there's a shipping fees which is involved. Shipping fees could be, let's say, from China to Amazon warehouse. Right now we're going through Chinese New Year. Shipping prices are like all-time high, and these are the costs which you need to add beforehand when you're actually planning your numbers. And refunds and returns, that's something a lot of the people, they totally ignore that. So that is also part of your margin. So when end of the day, when you do your books, when you calculate your margins, so everything comes down to, so that's why many of the e-commerce brands are not profitable because they have miscalculated their margins. So these are some of the things which sellers they need to keep in mind, and also the PPC and bunch of other stuff. So these are just the top four, but
Financial top four mistakes.
that is right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Cool.
So these are some of the some of them, but when you're doing your margins checking, as Alex mentioned, check everything. Yeah.
Cool.
And next one is not using the analytics because you are new to online world. You don't know how online thing works, and if you haven't hired someone professional, uh, you need to understand that using the analytics is the best part of the e-commerce because all of your steps are calculated. You know what's working, where you need to uh, spend more time on, where you need to double your money, where you need to cut down something. So it just gives you a really good overview of your business. So not using the analytics is also a big one. Let's take Amazon for an example. You have pretty much all the data. What's your conversion rate? What's your click through rate? What's your how's your PPC working? You have all the numbers. Same thing with the Google. Google gives you all the data. You have the social media analytics. So leverage those analytics and uh, do not ignore some of the metrics like CTR. It's click through rate. If you're selling on Amazon, uh, and if you're not getting sales, when you try to isolate the problem, hey, why are you not getting sales? Maybe you're not being found, or let's say if you're being found, maybe people are not clicking on your listing. Probably your main image is not good, or maybe your title is not good. So work on that. If your CTR is low, you need to work on your main images, or you need to work on your title. Maybe the price is too high, or you have bad reviews. So that's all affecting your click-through rate. So you need to work on that. So same thing, if you're getting good conversion CTR, but you're not converting well, that means some information is missing. That means you need to optimize your listing a little bit more so that people who are coming to your listing, they actually end up buying your product. So you need to look at these metrics, and also the PPC. The huge corporations, they ignore that. They're spending so much money on PPC and it's not working well, and they're losing money. Sometimes it's okay to lose money because in return you're getting reviews and ranking. But sometimes if you already have reviews and ranking, and your PPC is not doing well, it would be a smart idea to lower your budget, or lower your bids, or rethink your PPC strategy. So these are some of the metrics you can't ignore, and obviously there are some more that you need to take care of that. And when we're
Uh,
you know
that's a very simple. You're trying to do a very simple and clear explanation for um, for the first starters. That's very good.
Yeah, no thanks. And yeah, so it's some of the things, because we do see that happening, even with the small, whether it's a small or big seller. These are simple things, easier things, but combination of that, if you even miss one or two, can hurt your business. So these are some of the common things. And next thing is ignoring the reviews and rankings. If you look at the if you look at the two listings next to each other, it's there's a one person's got 5 reviews, the other person's got like 3,500. So the balance is, there's no balance. There's obviously
Mhm.
people are gonna buy something which has a better social proofs. So if you might have noticed that, Alex, that a lot of the brands, they have so many SKUs, they have so many, they have very good they have like all the investments, cash, but they don't have any reviews and rankings because they are brand new on the online. So they have a lot of SKUs, but people can't find those products because everything is being searched on keyword. uh, Amazon, Walmart, uh, Google, all of these are search engines. So people are finding your products by searching a keyword. So you need to understand that your product needs to be somewhere on the page one, top of the page one, if not top, like somewhere on the page one, so that at least your product is visible. If your product is not visible, it's not going to make any sales, no matter how good your product is. And also the reviews, people need social proof. Um uh, so these are the things you need to work on, and it comes over time. And in my previous slide I was talking about the PPC. Uh, that sometimes you're losing so much money on PPC, and sometimes it's good to lose money because in return you're getting ranking and reviews. So once you get ranking and reviews, that's where the organic sales start coming in. And how do you get some reviews? Maybe you can enroll in the early review program of Amazon, or maybe you can do Wine program, which can get you some reviews, or you can do ranking through PPC, or maybe you need to do some. Maybe your listing is not optimized, you're not indexing on that. Try to add some different keywords in your listing. Do some keyword research and try to get your listing found. And that goes to that what we talked about, the analytics. Look at the analytics, how many impressions you're getting, and are your impressions going down or your impressions going up. So this is where this kind of gives you an idea of if you're going to get sales or not.
Mm-hmm.
And the next one is expecting quick results. So it's not a get rich quick thing. It takes time to be profitable. You need to invest in your PPC. Even if selling well, you need like extra capital to restock your inventory so that you don't stay out of stock. You need to do a lot of optimization. You need to find a perfect price where people can buy your product. And you know let's say you send 100 different SKUs to Amazon, and all of them are not going to sell right away. Some would start doing well, some would take 3 to 4 different months to pick up. So it's not a get rich quick scheme. So taking a step back, lowering your expectations can be helpful for your business when you're just starting out. So dream high, but start small. So that's kind of how I see the e-commerce. But if you're like a really really huge corporation, you can expect quick results because you do have a brand outside uh, online, so people would still buy it. But for most of us, expecting quick results is not a good thing.
What do you say by quick results? What is quick and what is not quick?
Quick results, I would say maybe when you send an inventory to Amazon, don't expect that it will start selling right away. It needs some amount of work
Mhm.
for you know for those products to be sold.
So
There's
it
no.
will start to sell in 3 months, in 6 months, in 12 months, in 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's where the your research comes in. Before you actually even send your products, you should have done your due diligence. Okay, how much products are actually selling? And if the
Mhm.
bestseller, for example, if you have looked at the data and the bestseller is selling 500 units a month, you can't expect your product to do 600, because if the bestseller is doing 500, so you need some time. Even though if you do become the bestseller, you wouldn't be doing that in the month one. It would take maybe 3 4 5 months by the time you have that many reviews or that ranking. So keeping the so that taking a look at the numbers using the software can bring your expectations to more realistic. So using those software can definitely help. So that way you're not expecting like, okay, everything will be sold out in a month, and you get frustrated when it's not selling.
Cool. Okay.
So
Understood. Don't expect very quick results, but believe in your dream of your e-commerce empire.
That that is true, yeah. And the next one is managing inventory. As I was going to talk about this one, but since we mentioned since you mentioned like how quick you should expect the results, and that comes that part and the managing inventory, they kind of go together. Because if you have done your research, you should be sending your inventory accordingly. Sometimes a lot of the brands, they have so much in stock, they send everything to Amazon, but what happens is they get hit by the storage fees. It's a short-term storage fees or a long-term storage fees, and that just brings the margins down. And so managing inventory is very important. You need to know how many units you should be sending to Amazon beforehand, and when you should be expecting that to be sold out, and be prepared for the next one. Recently, last year Amazon did restrict uh, new shipments to 200 units, and that kind of hurt a lot of sellers. But the this is where you need to manage accordingly. Send 200 to Amazon, maybe find a 3PL, a logistic company, and send rest of the inventory there. You can either ask the 3PL company to ship it to your products, do shipping on your behalf, or you can just ask them to ship it to Amazon warehouse. So
Yeah,
finding.
that's exactly what we're doing. We've got the Amazon prep service and fulfillment service. So one company can ask us to send some particular part of their stock to Amazon. So
Yeah,
not to send all of it because it's very expensive, the storage there. And
yeah,
also give us the orders to fulfill the other omni channels directly.
yeah, that's right. So managing inventory is very, very important, and that's where WAPI comes in. And this also, the other part of managing inventory is you can do a little bit of testing. You can maybe send minimum unit at first and see what's selling well, and then restock them later. The ones which are selling well, send them more. If they're not selling well, maybe you don't need to sell them more, maybe change your strategy. So these are top 8 mistakes that mainly sellers make, Alex. So this is what I have got for you guys.
Yeah, that's great. Actually, that's a wonderful presentation. You have gathered all the very basic and simple mistakes that are done, maybe usually by beginners, right? That's your practical experience, what you saw in your life when you were, and you explained it so easy, so easy. I think that for beginners, it is like number one webinar to watch. And hey, don't be too smart, don't go too deep. Just start with those 8 mistakes, avoid them, and it will already bring you the result, right?
Yeah, that is true. And if whether you're someone who's brand new trying to sell online, or whether you're already a very experienced businessman in retail and trying to go online, these are some of the things which would apply to pretty much everybody who's just starting out. And these are very basic mistakes. And when you actually start selling on Amazon, there would be next stage of mistakes, that those are like a little bit more advanced mistakes. So you keep learning as you go. So I think at first it could be overwhelming, but every stage has different challenges. But I'm sure you'll get through it. There's a lot of content out there. There's not a lot of
Yeah.
good coaches. There's a lot of good services who are there. Every problem has a solution at Amazon space or any online space. So if this is something stopping you, don't worry, just keep going.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you very much. As usual, I have several questions at the end of the webinar. One of them would be very strange to ask, because it's what tell us 3 things what not to do when we go online. But this is already what you were saying for 40 minutes. So let's continue to the next one, because you were saying all the time what not to do. Can you say like 3 things what to do, very short takeaway, how to be successful in Amazon sales? Three tough things.
Okay, so 3 things what I would say, which I haven't talked about in these eight ones. So what you should be doing is you should be delegating the work to the right services or the right virtual assistants. So you can do it alone. So delegating the right work to the experts can help you. So
Mm-hmm.
this is the one thing I would do. And the second thing that all Amazon sellers they need to do is think long term, think beyond one product or think beyond 2 products. Uh, if your one product is successful, getting the first product successful is hard. But getting the second product successful is not that hard because you have already done it one time, and it keeps getting easier and easier. If you have the long term vision, it will be it will be game changer. Just wire your brain, rewire your brain differently, that Amazon, I'm going to do this for a very long time, and this is what my 5 year plan is, this is what my 6 year plan is, or 10 year plan is. So thinking long term can also help your business. And the third one, what you should do is keep learning, keep going to the conferences, keep meeting other Amazon sellers, keep meeting keep asking questions. And a lot of the time, even if you think that you know everything, it's unfortunately it's not true. It's There's always something new that can be learned. Learning new things, having long term vision, and delegating work to the right team is going to be, I would say these three things would help
Oh,
you a lot.
what online conferences would you suggest to attend?
Online conferences, you can WAPI webinar, that's one thing you will.
Okay.
And there's a bunch of others. There's Augustus, and
Yeah.
he runs a really
Orange Click.
successful, or Orange Click, and he's got European Seller Conference, PPC Congress. So he runs a really good online stuff. He gets all the experts uh, uh, in the online conferences. And if you're in the real time, let's say hopefully this ends soon, the COVID thing, and the Prosper Show, SellerCon, these are some of the Seller Fest, these are some of the top conferences, are great for networking. Yeah.
Okay, super. So, and the last question would be, tell us three things how to be successful in life and in business in general. Something not only about e-commerce, but because everybody here is about business, about earning money, about profits. So how to be successful in general, three things.
Yeah, I think I was thinking about the other day, Alex, when I quit my job. I was so um, I was confused whether I should do that or I should not. So I pinned down like three things what I will be doing when I quit my job. The first
Okay.
thing, in order to be successful, and that in life is one
Sorry.
thing I would say, is work hard on your business. I know it's kind of not related. First thing I would say, work hard. That's what I've been following, giving everything to the business. Second thing, spend more time with your family, with your loved ones. And second thing, with family. Third one, take care of your health. I think if you do these three things, you'll be very successful in your life. So that's what I believe in. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much, Kamal, for being with us today. And maybe some words about your company, our guests and our viewers. Tell something about MA's One Step so that they can contact you and understand what they can ask at your company.
Yeah. So if you're someone who's just starting out, if you need help with your listings, we help Amazon sellers with product photography, listing images, PPC management, and account management. So this is what we do. So you can get in touch with us at www.amz1step.com, or find us on socials, AMZ1step, or just send us an email at info@amz1step. We're omni-channel, as I mentioned. So we're everywhere. You can find us everywhere.
Wonderful. So if you want to have discounts from Kamal, MS One Step, you can send email first me, and then I'll talk to Kamal so that you get the best prices.
Yeah, so anyone who, with your reference, would definitely be getting special prices.
Okay, wonderful. So, and again, WAPI is European Fulfillment Network, one stop, one IT platform, and you've got access to all the countries in European Union. We've got now 14 warehouses in 14 countries, from which we fulfill all the other 27 countries of Europe. So, Shopify, Amazon, Magenta, WooCommerce, any marketplace you're selling omnichannel in Europe, please come to us. We will make your life much, much easier, because there is like no easy solution yet for all the European market, and we're bringing it to you. So everybody who wants to sell in Europe, just for you to know, European eco market is 700, more than 700 billion euro per year, and that's more than in the United States of America. So European market altogether is bigger than than America. The only problem was the fulfillment network, and we're trying to make it easier and very high quality. So thank you everybody for being with us. Thank you, Kamal, for your presentation.
Thank you, Alex. It was pleasure talking to you, and thanks to Arena for doing all this. And yeah, we'll be in touch soon.
Okay, good luck for both of us. And everybody stay tuned. Every Thursday, we've got WAPI webinars. See you soon. Bye.